Imagine a world suspended in eternal flatness. A vast, unbroken expanse of land stretching to the horizon in every direction, where the ground meets the sky in a seamless, unyielding line. No jagged silhouettes piercing the clouds, no shadowed valleys cradling secrets, no colossal spines of rock reaching for the heavens. This is Earth as it might have been a planet that never learned to rise, never felt the urge to fold its skin into peaks and ridges. The air hangs still, heavy with unspoken possibilities, and the wind whispers across the plains like a forgotten sigh. What if our world had remained this way? What if Earth never formed mountains? Welcome to the story of the planet that forgot to breathe. In our reality, mountains are the silent architects of existence, born from the restless dance of tectonic plates grinding and colliding beneath the surface. They are the scars of a living world, thrusting upward in defiance of gravity, shaping the very breath of the atmosphere. Picture the Himalayas, those ancient guardians where continents once crashed like titans in slow motion. Without them, without any of their kind, the air would flow differently unimpeded. Unchecked, winds would sweep across the globe in vast, uniform currents, carrying moisture from the oceans without the barriers that force it to rise and cool. Rain would fall in predictable patterns, drenching the land in endless monotony, or perhaps leaving vast swaths parched under a relentless sun. The sky, once a canvas of swirling storms born from mountain updrafts, would become a placid dome, devoid of the thunderous symphonies that echo through canyons and peaks. Now, step onto this alternate Earth. Feel the soft, yielding soil beneath your feet, a tapestry of grasslands and shallow wetlands that knows no elevation. The oceans lap gently at the shores, their waves unbroken by coastal cliffs or submerged ridges. In our world, mountains cradle the birth of rivers, capturing snowfall in their heights and releasing it in crystalline streams that carve paths to the sea. Here, without those lofty reservoirs, water cycles in a subdued rhythm. Precipitation spreads evenly, pooling into vast, shallow lakes that mirror the sky like infinite eyes. Rivers meander lazily, lacking the steep gradients that give them force and fury. They twist and turn across the plains, eroding the land into gentle undulations, but never delving deep enough to create the dramatic gorges that foster hidden ecosystems. The sound is a constant murmur, a soft hush rather than the roar of cascading falls, evoking a sense of quiet isolation, as if the planet itself is holding its breath. As time unfolds on this flat expanse, the forces of weather take on a new character. Without mountains to disrupt the jet streams, climates blend into one another seamlessly. Deserts might sprawl where once forests thrived, or lush greenery could dominate in unbroken waves, depending on the whims of a more stable atmosphere. The poles remain frigid, the equator sweltering, but the transitions are gradual, like the fading of twilight into night. Storms, those wild children of uneven terrain, lose their intensity, no towering cumulonimbus clouds fueled by rising air, no hurricanes amplified by coastal barriers. Instead, gentle rains blanket the land, and winds howl in long, unbroken howls across the horizon. You can almost hear the emptiness, the absence of echoes bouncing off stone faces, the world reduced to a single, vast whisper. It's a haunting beauty, this uniformity, where every sunrise paints the same golden hue on an unchanging landscape, and shadows stretch long and lonely without hills to interrupt their path. Life, in its infinite adaptability, would weave a different tapestry here. On our mountainous Earth, peaks act as islands in the sky, isolating populations and sparking the spark of evolution. Species diverge in high-altitude refuges, adapting to thin air and harsh conditions, giving rise to the kaleidoscope of biodiversity we cherish. But on this planar world, creatures roam freely, unbound by natural walls. Herds of grazing animals traverse endless migrations, their hooves drumming a rhythmic pulse across the grasslands. Predators follow in shadows that never deepen into valleys, leading to a dance of survival that's more fluid, less compartmentalized. Forests, if they farm, spread like green oceans, with trees competing in horizontal sprawl rather than vertical reach. Insects buzz in swarms that know no boundaries, and birds wheel in skies unmarred by updrafts from cliffs. Evolution favors the swift and the adaptable, those who can endure the open exposure, the unrelenting sameness. Perhaps gigantic forms emerge, unbound by the energy costs of climbing beasts that lumber like living monoliths, their calls echoing across distances that swallow sound whole. Continents themselves behave as slumbering giants in this scenario, drifting on the mantle without the violent upheavals that birth mountain ranges. Plate tectonics still stir beneath, but their collisions yield only subtle folds, like ripples on a pond rather than the cataclysmic upheavals we know. Earthquakes rumble through the flatlands, sending tremors that radiate outward in perfect circles, cracking the soil but never piling it into heights. Volcanoes, those fiery vents, erupt in isolation, their lava flowing wide and thin, creating plateaus that barely rise above the norm. The ground feels alive, yet restrained, a canvas of subtle shifts where the drama of subduction and uplift is muted. Oceans, too, remain shallower overall, without the deep trenches formed by plunging plates. Currents circulate in broader loops, mixing waters in ways that stabilize temperatures, perhaps averting the ice ages that sculpted our history. The planet spins on, its core churning heat, but the surface tells a story of quiet persistence, a world that evolves through whispers rather than roars. And what of humanity? Those wanderers who emerged from the cradle of varied terrains. In this flat realm, our ancestors might never have sought refuge in caves hewn by erosion, never climbed to vantage points that inspired myths of gods dwelling on summits. Societies spread like wildfire across the plains, unbound by natural borders. Trade flows effortlessly. Cultures blend in a mosaic of shared horizons, perhaps fostering earlier unity or endless conflicts over vast, undivided resources. Cities rise as sprawling metropolises, their skylines artificial peaks piercing the uniformity, built not from necessity, but from a deep-seated yearning for height. Art and architecture reflect this longing, towers that mimic forgotten forms, paintings of imagined elevations where light plays on impossible ridges. Spirituality evolves around the endless sky, with rituals invoking the flat Earth's embrace, seeing divinity in the horizon's curve rather than in lofty spires. Yet, in the quiet moments, standing under a starlit vault that feels closer without mountains to obscure it, one might sense a profound emptiness, a world that lacks the challenge, the aspiration that rising land instills. Travel becomes a meditation on sameness, journeys measured in endless strides rather than conquered ascents, fostering a philosophy of harmony with the horizontal, where ambition turns inward rather than upward. As we drift through this imagined vista, the sun dipping low to cast amber glows over fields that know no shadow play, a deeper wonder emerges. Mountains, in their absence, reveal themselves as more than mere geography. They are the pulses of a planet's heart, forcing air to circulate, water to renew, life to diversify. Without them, Earth becomes a still pond, reflective but unchanging, beautiful in its serenity, yet starved of the dynamic breath that fuels transformation. The wind, unchallenged, carries seeds across boundless distances, but the soil remains uniform, the ecosystems simplified. It's a realm of potential unfulfilled, where mystery lies not in hidden valleys but in the vast, open questions of what could have been. Feel the ground firm and unyielding beneath you, the air thick with unspoken stories, and ponder the silence that envelops it all. In the end, Perhaps mountains are Earth's way of reaching out, of drawing in the sky's embrace and exhaling rivers of life. They are the dreams etched into stone, the memories of ancient collisions that remind us of our world's restless soul. Without them, the planet might forget to breathe, to aspire, to remember the fire within. And so, we are left to wonder in the quiet of this flat eternity, does Earth yearn for its lost heights, or has it found a different kind of peace?